Lush, and I'm here at the Hub Culture studio in Davos, here with one of my favorite guests, Sandy Pentland, MIT. Now, we've been talking for a number of years. I've quoted you in my book. Every time I speak to you, I learn something new, so no pressure.
No pressure. Yeah.
So I heard last night a great kind of sum up of Davos that was, the theme this year at Davos is that robots and climate change are going to kill us all, but don't worry because women in the blockchain will save us.
Yeah, that sounds like a good thing, right? Yeah.
So tell me about, what's the idea you've been playing with since you've been at Davos?
Well, what I see every year you come, there's this new disaster and this new savior.
Right.
Right? It's like, oh, we're all going to die. No, we're not going to. Yeah, it's like, well, this is crazy, right? So the question really is, what's going on? Why are we running around like chickens with our heads cut off or whatever? And I think the fundamental reason is that things are just moving too fast. As everything becomes digitized, you can make it more efficient, which means we have to do things faster, which means everything, and that drives us crazy because we've got these organizations that are old and they've been the same for a long time, and we don't like change that much. And so the real question is, how can we move faster as society, organizations, personal? And I think that actually there's some hope here by looking at all these things that are going to kill us, okay? Because if you look at, for instance, AI, the key there to all those algorithms is you have lots of data, and every time you get an example, you improve the connections. The things that are helping you, you make them a little better. The ones that aren't, you make them a little less better. Well, that's sort of like in an organization, you change the org chart a little bit, or you network a little differently. But it's got to be driven by data, not just fad. Okay, so it suggests that what we need to do is we need to maybe get our national statistical offices or networks of people together to really collect the best evidence we can about what's going on in our world, and then use that to change the organizations. Really to sort of say, well, okay, what parts of this organization are helping and what parts aren't? And the parts that aren't, we can sort of maybe reorganize them. And that sounds like sort of like loosey-goosey or something. But you actually see this in the real world, and it works. So for instance, in professional sports, there was this book called Moneyball. And they noticed that data helps you figure out what teams should work better and who to hire. So
Got a Bay Area baseball team.
That's right, yeah. And so they were using data to make their organization better. And then in the years since that, it's turned out that actually what you want to do is you want to combine human intuition and the AI, and that's what gives you the best teams. So there, sports. And then hedge funds, right? The very best hedge funds use all this data from all the trades they make and so forth, not only to swap in AI algorithms, because the AI algorithms only last a couple of months before the world changes and then they need to go on. But they change the organization. They change, you report to him now because that seems to work better. But it's all data driven. It's driven by seeing what really happens. And the organization is very fluid. And so they can keep up with the fact that the world changes every 42 seconds, whereas the rest of us are back there, we got a little title, we're supposed to do this and that. That doesn't cut it anymore, right? Yeah.
So I heard I think my least favorite phrase of jargon that I heard at Davos was the cobot. So it's the bot that works with you, right? Rather than replacing you and whatever to the jargon. But I am interested in, because I know you work a lot on networks and how, and I'm interested in how networking changes when it's sort of data driven. Are we going to be pushed towards meeting people because, I don't know, that somebody, LinkedIn says, God, you have a lot in common with this person over here is saying. Maybe you guys should talk.
Well, this is a very human thing. I mean, this is what Davos is all about, is you find things that are interesting and you bring them all together and you mash them together and you see what sticks. It's networking in the positive sense, right? So I don't like cobot either.
Good, thank you.
But I do like a term that's a very old term. It's called human-AI symbiosis. So this was something that was coined back in 1949, I think, by J.R. Licklider, sort of the father of AI, or one of the fathers. And it was the idea that you can figure out ways for AI, big data, to work with people. And I think that makes sense. One of the things people forget is we all run around nowadays with AI for us.
Yeah.
So we all have phones that do speech recognition and find our friends and do map. And that's better than that cobot idea. That's this symbiosis where you use the phone to find the things you want, to keep in touch with your friends, to avoid bad stuff. Well, okay, so you're working together with this AI thing. That's not bad. And the proof is that we love these things. That, you know, almost everybody in the world has a phone now, and they're all smartphones, and they're going to have to pry them out of our poor dead hands, right? You know, we aren't giving it up. We love that sort of thing. So what we need to do is take that as an example, and if we can feed it with a lot more sort of objective, what's working, what isn't working, then we can figure out how to run fast enough to keep up with the changing world.
Sandy, thank you very much for stopping by the Hub studio, and I'm Edie Lush.